doing the shooting?
There was people, we were throwing rocks at people. They were throwing rocks back, and then all of a sudden there was 2 or 3 cars. The one that came down our road was a small white car with guns coming out by a lot of troops. We had to run away, we had to hide, and then all of a sudden everyone started getting out of there as soon as they can. Now they've regrouped and they've gone back and they're taking Green Square.
Why don't you take up Saif Gaddafi's pledge, though? He says there will be a national assembly. He says that he will move towards reform, freedom and democracy. He says the alternative will be separatism. It may be even Western intervention. Why not take the peaceful, negotiated route that Saif Gaddafi is offering?
I mean, firstly, it's 42 years, almost too late for any type of reform. And secondly, I had a lot of friends that were neutral. They were not pro, they were not against. But once they saw African mercenaries killing our own people, firing anti-aircraft missiles on the Libyan people, there's no turning back now. If you're for him, if you're against him, once you treat your own people like this, you are no longer a leader of your people.
What role is separatism playing in your protest?
Pardon?
Separatism. Saif al-Gaddafi said you're being run by separatists and foreign opposition figures and drugs, in fact.
I mean, this is, I think, you know, he's seen watching AlJazeera when Egypt was in riots, and he's just copy-paste, isn't it? The foreign, yesterday they sent a text message to our cell phone saying they've caught Tunisian, Egyptian and Sudanese operatives with high-tech gadgets. You know, they're the ones responsible for doing all this. This is the people. The people have spoken. The people want you out. And I mean, it's no longer about foreign interference. Give us our freedom. Hey, he's trying to scare us now that Libya's going to break up. We'll do fine. Get out, we'll do fine. Talking about the oil money not coming to us, it's not coming to us anyway. I mean, we haven't seen anything of it. Libya has an unbelievable amount of oil. We should all be sitting on gold. They're sitting on the floor. There's nothing. I mean, once you have nothing, there's nothing to, you know, we have nothing to lose.
A protester in Green Square. Actually, before you go, it might be just useful for us. Where are the military right now? Exactly how many people? Can you estimate how many people are still in Green Square right now?
That's the scary part. It's the most security. The military, the police, I mean, there's gunfighters here and there. You hear some small random shooting, but there is no big military presence. I'm trying to find out from the contacts where they are, but you hear them coming up in certain areas. But where's any presence? I mean, are they planning a counterattack? Are they gathering up forces to come and hit the people? But nothing short of a massacre, which is already started, a massacre will leave Gaddafi in power.
How many people would you estimate are in Green Square right now?
I mean, when we were there, just our road, we had 3,000-4,000, and they were splitting up into different roads. But we were the first people there. Once we were shot up and run away, there's people from all sections of Libya are going, or all sections of Tripoli are converging on it now. So once it's free, within an hour, within 2 hours, the people are hearing it's free, everyone's going down there, there'll be tens of thousands. So right now, I wouldn't estimate more than 5,000 or 5 to 10,000 right now. They will be in the tens now.
Thank you very much. That's the protester who's was very recently in Green Square, giving us his estimate of what was going on and his reaction to Saif Gaddafi's speech that we were just listening to. We can return to Najla Abdurrahman, actually, in the studio now for a bit more analysis of what we just heard there. I mean, that's the fear, I suppose, now, is where are the military? What will happen next? And the question is whether that speech, as far as you could tell, suggested there was an opening for dialogue and that perhaps, again, despite the calmness of Saif Gaddafi, they are a bit concerned right now, or whether they would risk some sort of crackdown. I guess that's the main question we have right now, which probably we can't answer, of course.
I mean, I can't predict what they're going to do, and I was surprised at how calm, how nonchalant he appeared giving his speech, sort of even disrespectful and arrogant in his demeanor. But still, I sensed a little bit that there was something desperate there. I feel like this young man, you know, basically echoed everything that I was just saying, and I'm convinced that the vast majority of Libyans feel the same way. This idea of separatism has never even occurred. It's new. Today is the first time I've heard of it. Of emirates, of drugs, of all these things, civil war. I just don't think that it's really a fear in the minds of Libyan people.
But you see, part of our problem, though, trying to analyze what's going on, is we will speak to dissidents in the US. We will speak to those who have access to the internet. It's very similar to actually what happened in Iran with the Green Movement. But then it becomes quite clear that they don't necessarily speak for the entire country. There is a well of support for the leaders who have faith in the system that is there. That is the problem we're having in Libya, which we didn't necessarily have in Tunisia and Egypt and elsewhere.
You know, this is the thing. Many people that you talk to even here have been to Libya, have spent significant amount of time. I mean, I haven't personally, I have traveled a few times. But again, I think that the support that the Gaddafi regime seems to have in this perception in the world is really exaggerated. And you know, even if he had 20, 30, let's even say 40%, enough is enough. It's been 42 years of brutality, of oppression. He has absolutely no legitimacy. We shouldn't even, as Libyans, be negotiating with Saif al-Islam, with Muammar al-Gaddafi. Who are these people? What right do they have to tell them, we're going to take away your oil, or your oil is going to be taken away? They have absolutely no authority, no legitimacy, zero legitimacy in the eyes of the Libyan people. I mean, it's exactly what he said. I mean, there's no going back.
All right, thank you very much, Najla Abdurrahman, for the moment. We can actually now go to Benghazi in the east, which has seen a great deal of violence, and indeed apparently some opposition supporters have now managed to co-opt members of the military, we understand, and perhaps, according to Saif Gaddafi, may even have tanks and so forth. Let's talk to Nouri Al-Abba. He's a legal advisor in Benghazi. We'll get an update on actually, let's begin with that. What is going on right now in Benghazi? Then we'll get your analysis of the speech.
Here in Benghazi, I'm speaking with you from the square in front of North Call in Benghazi, and I'm listening for the Saif Islam speech. I think the same scenario. They are repeating the same scenario. He's talking about investment. He's talking about tomorrow, but he hasn't tomorrow. He hasn't tomorrow. You know, and my belief, the system, it will be if you see over the situation, the system closely, really closely, it will be turned down.
It's not a terribly good line, so we might try and re-establish a connection with you. But what were those bangs that we can hear behind you? What's going on behind you?
You know, I'm really nosy here, and the mission is really difficult because most people here are having, so it's really difficult to listen to hearing you.
All right, we're going to try and re-establish contact with you because we're having some difficulty understanding what exactly you're saying, but clearly we need to hear it, so we will get back to you in a few moments. Najla Abdurrahman is still with us. Again, though, this idea of separatism, give us some context to the separatist movement in Libya. How strong has it been in the past? Again, might there be something there for the current regime to play on as far as fears for the future of Libya?
Are you talking about separatism in
between the
terms
East
of
and the West, exactly, because the East has always been a lot less developed than the West, and I think that's and there are certain.
Yes, but I think that Easterners recognize that has been a strategy of al-Gaddafi, an unwise strategy in my opinion. But I think they